All right. Hello, everyone. I think we're live. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't even know why I have headphones on as per usual, but I don't know. Just like having a dented forehead. But no, it's nice to be back to do some Champions League content. I've always been playing, as I said in my most recent video, but I just felt like I had some time to do some content. Hopefully, we can be a little bit active over the next few match days, and it's just something fun where I think, especially with uh, let's say Champions League football. I mean, it almost helps illustrate some of our understanding of some of the big teams in Premier League at times, right? Gives you a little bit more sample size, a little bit of data. So why not? And of course, I get to watch Real Madrid as well as a byproduct of it. Couple things in chat, right? Hello, Cod God. Hello, Jason. Thank you for welcoming me back. Why Bastoni over Dumfries? Ball recoveries mostly. Um, I think Dumfries is amazing, but I kind of value the 1 million in the bank, and I don't think there's a gigantic gap between Bastoni and Dumfries. As far as Palmer, a good pick. I almost think that having a plan to go to Palmer in game week 2 is the best way to approach it. I don't think necessarily going Palmer match day 1 makes too much sense. This is a game that allows you to be a little bit more flexible in terms of, hey, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to transfers, then allow for that with like moves in the bank. Um, just gonna quickly fix my lighting here to improve, I guess, how dimly lit my face is. But yeah, that's something that I think about more so than, let's say, starting with Palmer. So yeah, in my team, if you can see, for example, I personally don't think Vinicius is one of the best picks in the game, but I think Real Madrid do have the two best fixtures from a top team combined for match day 1 and match day 2. So why not just take the opportunity to go Real Madrid and then move off of someone like Vinicius into Palmer, right? Palmer's minutes could very well be managed over the next few weeks. We know he's coming back from an injury. Maresca's already said he's not 100%. So even though I think Palmer's enticing as soon as match day 2, I almost have him pigeonholed as being an option for me in match day 3 plus. But of course, if Vinicius doesn't look great, and we know Rodrigo can play a lot of minutes this season on the left, particularly with the way that Xabi Alonso is doing his lineups, then yeah, inevitably I'm going to do Palmer match day 2, and I don't mind doing that. Romero Van de Ven, I'd probably choose Romero. I mean, he historically has better set piece threat. I think ball recoveries seem to be something that he's a little bit better than Van de Ven at as well. So I'd probably go for that. Is Mireille fit? I don't think he's fit. I'm just going for Mireille because I think Di Gregorio is a goalkeeper. You know, in the worst case scenario, as a 4.5, I think Di Gregorio by himself is the best 4.5 goalkeeper. So if Mireille isn't fit, then so be it. I also think I wouldn't ever play Mireille anyways in match day 1. So I'm almost banking Di Gregorio by himself and then going forwards, right? I could have obviously gone on Raya. Um, sorry, I just responding to someone on Discord, but that's something, yeah, that I've thought about, right? Where I could have just gone Raya simply, and to be honest, like what other alternatives are there? You can um maybe opt for something like going Raya as a goalkeeper, then do Gabriel to Bremer. And for example, I would still be saving 0.5 in my team. Why Otamendi and not Araujo? Just minutes. And also, if I was to keep Otamendi in my team, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. The BR numbers are not similar because their minutes are not the same. So I don't think it's not a good like for like, but nice to see around AFXR 29. And also Otamendi just has insane set piece threat, like absolutely insane set piece threat. I think he scored 6 goals within the league last season. No justice for Johnson. We're talking Brennan Johnson here. I'll never pick him in my team. There's too much depth there, in my opinion, and I don't think he's that important of a player. Um, Gino, hi Fran. Just make sure the game doesn't close 1 hour before like the CRC. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's a FIFA game, right? UEFA is probably a little bit better at this. Um, Jamie, when am I using my chips? Limitless. So yeah, let's just talk strategy, right? So I think this is once again visuals from FPL Shad, and you can find him on FPL Shad on Twitter. You can also find his actual UCL points projection model on patreon.com/UCLfantasy. But crucially, I think when you look at the big teams and strategy, Limitless is almost the idea of flipping bad games on its head for your own team, right? So when I look at Limitless 5, I think what a great opportunity to jump onto PSG Napoli that I don't have any in my team for, even Liverpool to an extent, and Copenhagen, right? Whereas I'm most likely going to have Barca players, Bayern players, maybe Tottenham players. I might even be, for example, invested in Real Madrid still, and they don't have the best of games. So it's an opportunity to almost switch up the team quite radically, I would say, in a game week where a lot of the top teams just have a pretty mediocre match because they're faced against each other. And then to wild card off of that in 6 or 7 makes sense because if you think about schedule, there's a month gap between 6 and 7. So there could be a lot of injuries there in domestic football. So there could be quite a lot of changes in terms of the perceived landscape. But equally, I guess the more you delay the wild card, the more you know whether teams actually have something to play for around 7/8. And so it probably actually allows you to get the best expected value, anyways. Uh, so I come live in every deadline in UCL Fantasy. Unlikely, to be honest, because I'll be at work on. So we'll just have to manage that as we come and go. Gabriel and Lautaro Martinez or Dumfries and Gyökeres. I'd probably go Gabriel and Lautaro Martinez personally. I don't think the Arsenal games are actually particularly good. If you kind of look at, for example, this table here, like you're not seeing a lot of expected goals for Arsenal, right? Whereas at least with Inter Milan, I think if you look at the first 4 fixtures, they do trump Arsenal. So like if I was to almost cut it like halfway through, right? If you slice this in half, Inter Milan actually have an amazing set of games. So I would definitely go Lautaro. Um, is it too much players on the last day a problem? I don't think so because a lot of the players that I have on the last day are ultimately good. Like as in they have a really good game, right? And ironically, the players playing on the last day have so much good value that when they actually have, let's say, a poor match next week, like it's going to be flipped, right? So if you think about it, Pedro, Goncalo, or Gonzalo, and Luis Suarez are all going to play on the first fixture on the first day. Well, not on the first fixture necessarily, but they'll be playing on the first day next game week, right? So when they have a worse match, and that's probably better scenario planning. And I get to almost rinse through, let's say, all my Real Madrid players who I think I'm very optimistic about, to be honest. Even Di Gregorio, I really can't see myself subbing in Mere, so that's probably the one part of my draft that looks weak is clearly the goalkeeping position, but I think saving 1 million in the bank makes sense because there's so many good 7 million midfielders where I really can see myself moving Pedro to, for example, Çalhanoğlu next week or Kudus next week, or even just 0.5 million on Xavi Simons or Simons, and then Otamendi can also be upgraded in the future. Whereas for me, I think Inacio, I'm not going to touch him. Luis Suarez, I'm not going to touch him. I think they're just amazing price points. Goulet, I'm not going to touch him for match day 2, right? Amazing game. And even match day 3, to an extent, I think Real Madrid looked pretty good for. So not too worried about that. Pavlidis instead of Holland spread the funds. You can definitely do that. Yeah, if you're going to wildcard match day 2 easily, you should be going Pavlidis 100% if you're doing match day 2 wildcard. I mean, if I was going to do a match day 2 wildcard, I don't think I'd have my Bayern players. I don't even think I'd necessarily have. Well, I probably would have my Arsenal players. I'm not sure if I'd have Bastoni here. I definitely wouldn't have Di Gregorio. I definitely wouldn't have Mere. You can go for the Olympiacos goalkeeper at 4 million. So I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but it starts with a P and it ends with Edis. Um, so you can go for him, right? If you go to wildcard match day 2, I would go Pavlidis for sure. I don't really know which midfielder to target. I'd probably actually go double Benfica defense if I'm honest. So maybe that's actually just Trubin. Okay. What else can you go for? I still think I'd probably have Rafinha. I might even consider Salah in that context. Not in love with it, but Atleti do have a few injuries. Definitely triple Real Madrid. Hmm. I don't love the PSV game that much, so I'm not sure if that's like one I'm super invested into. I'd say one of the other more one-sided games is probably re-extend how much money you're spending on Paris. So uh, maybe it's a Hakimi, maybe it's a Barcola, for example. I think those kind of picks make a little bit more sense on this match day. And even to an extent, like to me, I think an Arsenal clean sheet feels super locked, right? I know, I'm sorry, like Bilbao just are not good when Nico Williams doesn't play. I can't really see Arsenal not getting a clean sheet, so something to think about. Sporting play on match day 2 next game week. Do they actually? They play on the 22nd of October. Oh, sorry, that's match day 3 that I'm looking at. What am I doing? They play no, but they play 1st October, right? All right. It's flipped for. Why am I thinking that it's flipped for whatever reason? Was I thinking about Arsenal? Oh, Arsenal's flipped. Hmm. I guess that hurts, but it's not the worst thing in the world because I think Suarez has like inherent value, and I'm probably gonna be done with Pedro. Um, and yeah, like I don't feel so bad because I'm probably 2 out of 3 next week. Was I thinking about Benfica? Maybe could have been thinking about Benfica potentially. But then Benfica I think also play today, right? So maybe I'm just being silly. Long time is going for Schick a bad option. I don't really like Leverkusen too much. Like the only Leverkusen pick that I really like is Grimaldo. Uh, Flamengo from PSV. I mean, there's a couple interesting PSV picks, but I think to me, I would say Perisic is probably the only PSV pick that I would actually touch. Um, or Pepe maybe. Pepe's actually at an interesting price point, but then I don't think his minutes are very good at all, right? So, um, like going for a defender from PSV is not something I'd probably back too hard. Is this my first time doing content for UCL? No, it's not at all. I mean, I used to do Champions League content a long time ago, but I don't think I was super consistent with it. Also, just for prosperity reasons, we'll just share clean sheet odds in the meantime. I'm also gonna quickly have a look at Discord, just to see what's in the private chat there. Fury starts, by the way. I mean, it is tempting to go for him because I think he's just such an attacking player. The only thing that I don't love about Calafiori is like if you go for something like Calafiori or Timber, the early sub is actually gonna hurt in terms of ball recoveries long term, right? And if you think the clean's banked anyways, it's basically just saying, um, Hey Mel, how are you? Hello, Killian plus 10. I mean that's kind of the game, right? You don't have Ajax on the projection sheet. I mean they're here, but if you want to know the truth, they're pretty low on the sheet. So here they are. Yeah, pretty low on the sheet. They're just not. We're not expecting much from clean sheets, right? I think you'd probably expect a little bit more from goals, which is why you can see Ajax there. You don't. Raya, Timber. Actually, let's have a look at the Arsenal lineup. I can definitely whip that out as well. Sorry, by the way, I'm actually managing a couple of things. I also am playing Fan Team as well. If anyone's ever played Fan Team, so uh, I'm just gonna take a screenshot of it and just share the lineup. I mean, crucially, Odegaard's not on the squad, so this is our Arsenal lineup. I mean, let's just think about it, right? Like Timber, I think could be a pick that goes beyond this match day. Mosquera, I think Saliba's in training, but obviously they're not going to risk him for this, so I can understand why like Saliba's already a part of the bench depth. So would I go Mosquera past match day one? Like, no, I don't think so. Um, as far as let's say Madueke, probably good for match day one punt. Same with Eze. Gyökeres, I mean, it is a question I think long term of whether you actually think Arsenal are going to do really good with some of the tougher fixtures, right? I think if I just delete this graphic, because I mean, it's not even like this is an obvious lineup, but yeah, if you kind of just look at these Arsenal projected goals, is it even really worth going for Gyökeres? Like, I can't quite see it, even though he's at a really good price point. I just think the Arsenal fixtures are tough. I would also say that Shadden's Arsenal maybe like goal scoring projections are a little bit on the low side. So what's a good way to compare that to? I'd probably compare that to what the markets are projecting. So Arsenal a little bit higher, 1.57 compared to what he's projecting, which is Arsenal 1.43. So that's actually a pretty significant gap. I guess if you have a little bit more faith in terms of the market odds and where they're positioning Arsenal as a team, then definitely you can pursue a pick like Gyökeres as well, because I think he's at a good price point. Trini, am I just ignoring you? Wildcard 2, Limits 5, flawless victory. I don't even know why you want a wildcard 2 personally. I just think, okay, the advantage is you maybe go a couple more Chelsea players. All right, cool. I don't know. I don't really see why wildcard 2 is that spectacular, personally. So you're going to have basically one or two more Benfica players. Okay. Olympiacos players, maybe. Um, But then I think the problem in the UCL game is that everyone's quite cheap, right? So like moving to Palmer, I don't think is particularly difficult. Moving to more Chelsea is not particularly difficult. Whereas if I was playing Fan Team, for example, it would make a lot of sense because there's so many different price points. It's so hard to actually draft the right team, and it's hard to move players around. Like here, when someone like Olise is like 8 million, or if I just share my main team, right? If someone like Olise is 8 million, then I'm just going to start with him because like there's good value from a match day one perspective. Whereas if I was to go Olise on fan team, like that's really going to cripple the kind of quality of team that I put out. I don't think wildcard 2 is that insane. When do you want a wildcard if not in 2? I think definitely not 5. I mean, 5 is like the most obvious limit this week ever. I would just wildcard 6 or 7. I mean, why would you need to know a rotated Real Madrid squad? I can't see how limitless Matchday 2 works. We're not going to rotate in Matchday 2 as much as people think, I would say. Um, yeah, like we don't actually have that much depth right now at Madrid. So, yeah. But like what's rotation going to be? We don't have many you don't have many defenders. Um Trip is long oppositions week, yeah, but you want to get points on the board, right? So I can't really see us rotating until later. And we already kind of rotate in between matches, like within the league. We are not like the Carlo Ancelotti team like last year where everyone plays 90 minutes in the league and then suddenly, people fall down like flies because they're playing way too much football. So like, maybe Rodrigo will start. Um but I personally think, okay, if you start with Real Madrid players, Mbappe is most likely going to start next match. He's not going to want to miss an opportunity to farm Kairat, right? So why would that happen? Goulet, I kind of think he's almost too essential for us. I think he plays. I almost think Vinicius is probably in danger at this point in time, just because of squad importance and sort of rotational depth, where he could maybe not happen. And so I just moved to Palmer, right? So, I mean, like, what we're missing out on maybe like Franco Mastantuono, but I don't play predict 6. Is Vinny going to start? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, there's a small chance where he doesn't start, but I can still see him starting. I mean, he got subbed pretty early versus Real Sociedad, so I think he starts. Ezer Hakan Çalhanoğlu, I'd probably go Çalhanoğlu for the Pens. Mare's not start. I don't think Mare is guaranteed to start. I'm almost keeping him for 2+. Goalkeepers that actually rotate, I think Di Gregorio plus Carnesci actually works. Atalanta's been really poor. Yeah, but the value towards Atalanta has never really been. I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean, like Serie A so far, when I look at like some of the underlying stats within the league, Atalanta is still second in the league when it comes to actually their underlying stats, right? Better than Napoli, better than Inter Milan. So is your takeaway going to be that they're actually bad in defense? I actually think that's not true. They've conceded 3 goals, but actually a lot of it's just because of underperformance when it comes to saving. So I don't feel particularly bad about it. Like if anything, Inter Milan look or Napoli, for example, so far probably looked a touch worse on defense. Nothing crazy, right? Because they've had tough fixtures. Juventus as well, but I don't think that anything so far has said Atalanta is like a bad defense. Personally, if you're going to average like 0.7 xGC per match, even though they have had nice games, that's okay. It's good. I mean, less than 0.7 even. I mean, they're averaging like 0.56. That's really good. Ronaldo's must have a little bit more for, I guess, like a wildcard 2 strategy. Why Gabriel over Calafiori? Just nailedness. I mean, I think there's opportunities for Hincapié to maybe start over Grimaldo. Not Grimaldo, sorry, but Calafiori. But also, I mean, if you were, let's say, looking forward into the future games, there's cup matches where Luis Skelly will start. There's going to be maybe a Hincapié game for Olympiacos, right? Things like that. Whereas I almost think Gabriel's going to start most of the Champions League matches anyways. That's kind of how I see it. I could be wrong. But also, increased minutes mean increased ball recoveries for the case of Gabriel versus Calafiori. So even though Calafiori has a little bit more upside in terms of attacking returns, the longer like Gabriel plays within the match, the better. Thought of John Neves. I think he's okay, but I probably still prefer Vitinha. But obviously, John Neves has been like amazing in terms of some of the attacking returns so far. I don't know if I'd say. I mean, that has, I guess, been a nice little shift for the team, but I just don't really like PSG beyond match day one. So if you're wildcard two, sure. Barcola over Vinny. I mean, I'm not gonna go Barcola because I'm not wildcard two. Um, is Foden not a good pick? I think Napoli's just a pretty tough match. And like to make a call on Foden right now, I'm not sure if I can do that myself. I love Foden, but yeah. Am I planning to hold Suarez until wildcard? Definitely. He's one of the best price picks in the game. He's on penalties as well. So I think he was just like, honestly, Luis Suarez is the worst price player in this game. That's my personal opinion. Um, am I using? Well, I am not using wildcard match day two. I would only go Barcola if I was doing wildcard match day two. Do I have a league code? I don't actually. It's a good question. Went top three in Denmark last year. Best of luck this year for winning it all. Thuram and Lautaro, I think, are at decent prices, especially if you don't want to go Holland, which I think it's totally justifiable to not go Holland. I'm also like almost, it's almost a sin for me to not go for Salah, but I'm also gonna probably create a fan team quite quickly. So something I need to think about. Wildcard two is my strategy. Nope. I'll probably write down my strategy team roster at the top, just so that it doesn't get confusing for people. Oop, maybe we'll fix that. Hopefully that's pretty clear. Thoughts on Joan Garcia? I mean, Joan Garcia is extremely cheap. De Gregor makes sense too. I'd still go De Gregor because I probably think I'm going to triple up at Barcelona at one point in time. Kane, Haaland, Mbappe, fair. I mean, I just think Luis Suarez is a really good opportunity in the game. Trincao better for X minutes? I think so. But at the same time, Pedro Goncalves has like literally double his XG for the last two seasons running. So I don't even know. Do the 6 predictions, please. What is that? Is that like part of the UCL website? Yeah, PSG has like super tough fixtures. I do agree Barca's just going to concede a lot. So even though like obviously like look, Joan Garcia is like mispriced, but do you necessarily need to go for him? I still think no. Like for example, like I still think Rafinha's, for example, mispriced. Uh, they've added some extra stuff this year to it. So I need to do that. Can I avoid it? Please. Trincao probably has slightly better minutes, but I kind of think Pedro's just better all around in terms of like underlying stats. GK recommendations. MDG, so De Gregor from Juventus, Raya, probably a pair of Meret, or you can do 4.5 rotation. So, I mean, the Copenhagen goalkeeper is actually 4 million. If you want someone who plays and can partner with Di Gregorio, because the issue is the Villarreal goalkeeper, who's actually really good value, plays on the same day as MDG. So I don't really like honestly the best goalkeepers all play within the 16th. So what do I mean by that? In my opinion, right? Every good goalkeeper plays today in terms of value. VRL, Arsenal, Juventus. Um, yeah, it's kind of annoying to be honest. I guess Chelsea medium to long term are pretty good because 5 million is a bit of a mispricing. Um, as I said, Copenhagen do have a 4 million goalkeeper, but you're not expecting much from that team. So yeah, it's and then obviously you can go with the Barcelona goalkeeper, as I said, but then the issue is then, okay, does that block you from triple Barcelona in the future? I think absolutely it does. So do you necessarily want to do that? I'm not so sure. Who's the starter for Real? Luis. Luis Jr. First time UCL fantasy player. Can I explain my formation? Formations don't matter in UCL. It's about date of play, right? So date of play works in the sense that if all my players play on the 16th and I have a couple blankers, I can auto sub players from the next day um, quite easily. Um, Sorry, just responding to a friend as well. But yeah, I think so. Okay, all my players play on the 16th, right? And then on the 17th, I can actually, like, if let's say Gulair blanks, if Vinicius blanks from the 16th, or Gabriel blanks, for example, the next day before the matches start, I can auto sub players. So I can put Gabriel on my bench, I can put Gulair on my bench, I can put Vinny on my bench, and then move Holland and Rafinha and Luis Suarez into the team. Um, I don't really think Juventus are going to keep a clean sheet against Dortmund at all. Doubling on one defense isn't smart. Doubling on a defense is smart if the defense is good. And to be honest, doubling on a defense, like you also have to think about long-term strategy. Like doubling on a defense works totally fine because you're gonna have bad weeks and good weeks, and so that's okay, right? It's the same thing if let's say if you were rotating defenses, you might actually just get poor value anyways. Plus, you have a secondary goalkeeper. I don't think Diego is actually going to get a clean sheet over you, Bay, but I just don't really care. It's probably the least valuable position in terms of like points returns. Just given that defenders in this game get ball recoveries, most midfielders get man of the matches, forwards just score goals. Um, you've got Calafiori instead of Gabriel, Paul instead of Upamecano, Grimaldo instead of Bastoni. I think that's fine. I mean, clearly my strategy is just going for ball recoveries, which is it kind of explains the point of why I don't have Dumfries or Grimaldo at the end of the day. I just ultimately think I'll get a lot more value from some of the other players. Who would you take if not Garcia to partner MDG? As I said, I think Carnesci makes sense. I think other 4.5 goalkeepers. Let me just quickly look at my own almost cheat sheet per se. Um, if you're looking for like, let's say, a long-term goalkeeper, 4.5, I would say over the course of the games, maybe up until, let's say, a wildcard 6-ish. I kind of think that the best looking player, let's just say 1 to 4. I think it, once again, I would go back to Karnaseki. I would go Joan Garcia as well. These players all play different days to Di Gregorio, right? So that's rotation. Chevalier makes sense, but are the fixtures any good for Paris? Like, in my opinion, no. So I probably wouldn't touch him. That's, I think, as far as I'd go with some goalkeepers. But I would say also, like, a Monaco goalkeeper is not too far away. Do I really want Trubin for match day 1? I don't think so. I don't think I'd, like, to me, it's a bit of a waste because their fixtures after that are pretty poor. So yeah, I would just pair Di Gregorio with Kaneseki, and that's it. Not a bad way to go about 4.5, 4.5. Because yeah, for me, Jean Garcia, I would just like to keep him for, my team. Um, for, triple Barcelona whenever I can do it. Pavlidis match day 1, punt, then transfer him to Holland match day 2. I mean, it's a good punt, but then one of the things I think about is I look at spread X odds, right? Um, and what is fantasy football app? I don't even know what that means. 78% on. I don't even know what app you're talking about. Anyways, I mean, GK with most chance of clean sheets always going to be Raya for sure. I mean, look at this graphic, right? When it comes to clean sheets, I mean, clean sheets. Arsenal top, Napoli next top. So I guess, you like, for me, that's why I'm kind of gambling Meret, right? But you see Juventus, like, if we think about prices of goalkeepers here, obviously this is match day 1 to match day 8, so clearly there's a bit of a gap. But I think, look, Arsenal's still probably top. Inter Milan's actually quite high up there if you just think about 1 to 4. But the issue, I think, is that there could be goalkeeper rotation with Sommer dropping a stinker over the weekend. So, that kind of hurts. Chelsea looks really, really healthy in my opinion, but you also kind of have to realize that, 1's poor. You're probably going to limitless 5, so it doesn't really matter after that. So Chelsea look okay as well because that's a 5 million goalkeeper. Liverpool, Bayern Munich, 6 million goalkeepers. I don't know why, too expensive, I would say. Athletic Club, actually, goalkeeper is quite cheap. I don't mind that per se. Some stinkers there at the start though, so a little bit more like they've actually got better fixtures later down the line. So, we might revisit, for example, a Bilbao goalkeeper on like a wildcard 7. Juventus are up there as we kind of said. And yeah, if I, let's say, do a match day 7 wildcard, I get to get that really good match day 6 game in there. Crucially as well, I'll have, like, hopefully if Meret is alive for match day 3, then just covers the bad Juventus game in match day 3, right? Other than that, like, I think Courtois is a touch expensive, but I mean, he's got man of the match potential. I just think right now the way that we play as Real Madrid, we don't allow as many shots as we used to. So is Courtois going to get man of the match? No. Are we going to get higher expected clean sheets? Sure, but then you might as well actually just buy Houston, right? Or Carreras. And after that, yeah, it's not great, is it? Like, you can see the Barcelona expected clean sheets are also very, very low. So when we talk about goalkeepers, like, I'd probably just look at, like, and Atalanta's right next to Barcelona, but once again, they actually have a slightly better game in match day 2. So that sort of run of games, I guess it depends on whether you wildcard 6, wildcard 7, right? Because it's actually quite close. So because it's close, I'd probably still go with the Atalanta goalkeeper, as I think there's slightly tighter rotation compared to, if you think about the net gain, like, you've got huge net gain versus a Di Gregorio in match day 2 and match day 3. You covered the really bad Di Gregorio game, as I said, with Karnasheki really well. To me, that's the best pair of 4.5s. Also, I up. Quenda or Chenda. Yeah, I mean he's pretty broken, right? And he's most likely to play. Um, I don't think Murray is 100% nailed on at all. I think VMS is really good. Good to see in the sub box. Thank you. Is Rafinha Cap a good choice for what? Match day 1? I don't think so. And for match day 3, like I'm definitely gonna go Holland. So, well, no, sorry, I'm actually definitely gonna go Luis Suarez. I think. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go Luis Suarez. Is Doom Freeze a good pick? Of course he's a good pick. I'm basically just the type of manager in this game where I think the kind of way where, look, most of the people are going to go for like extremely high attacking picks that will probably maybe outscore me, right? But I just think there's a lot of good expected points for BRs. There are a couple, like most of the center backs here, I have some sort of goal threat, anyways, right? Like, Upamecano, Bastoni, Gabriel, Otamendi are all pretty good set piece threats. I wouldn't say Inacio historically is, but just a great game here. And I think one of the things with Inacio when I compare to, let's say, Gwenda, and I'm not wildcarding on 2, is if I go for Goncalo, like the pro is I get to keep in my team consistently, right? Whereas Gwenda's not necessarily going to be guaranteed starts going forwards. So that for me is like kind of like the big change, I would say. Okay, I'm actually also going to call phone a friend as well, which now means that I have to jump into use my headphones and see if this works out. Let me see. Okay. Hello? All right, one sec. I need to plug my headset here. Please don't tell me I've run out of battery on my headset. I'm still streaming, yeah. All right, that's my podcast going there, so let's not get canceled for that. Yo, are you there? All right, sweet. So let's just quickly. I wonder if people can everyone hear Schadenfreude? Or Schaden? Try speaking. All right. I think I need to fix that. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna copy and paste what we have for script usually. Are you speaking?
Sure.
All right, cool. I get to copy that. Copy filters. I really wonder if that works. Hard to say though. All right, should we try that again?
Yeah, let's try again.
All right, I think that works now.
I think. Okay,
I think we
fantastic.
have. Yeah, sweet. All right, cool. How are you doing? Is
Good, good.
Vinicius benched? Goodness gracious. Let me actually. That's not true, is it? It's possible, but I've not seen that news.
I mean, how can that be confirmed now? It's no longer Ancelotti, right? So you don't get the team news.
Yeah.
I
Although
don't know how anyone can say that with certainty.
I haven't seen any Spanish newspaper that's actually gotten like lineups perfectly so far.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Alonso has clearly done a better job.
Yeah. I personally think Vinny still plays, but at the same time, put in a decent shift versus Real Sociedad and then got subbed out like 67 minutes, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. First Champions League game at home, I almost think he's going to start. I
I
kind of,
don't see why not. I mean, it's all about, I think, um, status quo, right? Why would you want to disturb it to that extent? I just don't see why.
yeah. Am I starting Upamecano over Holland? No, I mean, this game is not about starting. It's just, you just auto sub players in. So it
I
doesn't
don't know
really
if you
matter.
want to display dates over fixtures.
Yeah, I could do.
Yeah, just so that people
Well, I
can
am
understand. No,
displaying dates
no, I'm sure.
actually.
Oh,
I'm
you
just
are
not,
okay. Sorry.
I'm just not even sharing pictures. I'm just sharing your visuals.
Oh, I saw
Um,
it. I have your stream pulled up now.
you can auto sub based on every singular match day. So the way it works is like I play all my 16 September players, then they can actually just get put on the bench by 17 September players or 18 September players. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Okay, so you're all set on Pedro Goncalves. That's nice.
I'm. Yeah, I've actually got an interesting question, right? Because like Goncalves has like so much better underlying stats compared to Trincao, but like I guess they're modeled quite similar. Like I think the expected points are always similar. I look at odds; they're similar. Is there like a reason for that? Do you think it's just minutes, or are we just like, am I missing something here? Maybe it's like reduced. Like he hasn't played that many minutes last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think Goncalves' previous season, which was supposed to be his breakout season, right? And he was so high on expected value in my
Yeah.
model as well last season.
Oh, so it's the
But
UCL numbers that were pretty
unfortunately,
poor last year, maybe.
yeah, it didn't pan out, right? So I think what has happened is because his latest season has been almost missing, it's
Right.
sort of nerfed his expectations, and at the same time, Trincao has been playing in his position for a large part of last season. So I just think that sort of has mixed them into like melded them into one player for now. And I
Got
think
it.
as you see them play more together in the same team, you probably will see some separation.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Who do you think's like um the best goalkeeper pair? Because I was trying to say, so I mean we've discussed this already, but I think Raya plus 4.0 is nice. But I do think Di Gregorio plus Carnesecchi makes sense too. But if Murray is alive, like it's also worth a gamble. So I'm doing that.
Yeah. Okay. So yesterday I was inspired by a spreadsheet that was posted by Trini.
Yep.
And what it does is it calculates how many match weeks or match days two teams play on the same day. So basically the overlap.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So I
see.
just did that by myself. And if we want to look at game weeks 1 to 4 and game week 6, so sorry, match day 1 to 4 and match day 6, for Arsenal, it's Chelsea, Atalanta, and Galatasaray who have zero overlap. So you can go for either one of those goalkeepers.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying
And
go Raya.
subsequently, like I'm pretty sure you want to go Raya, but let's say you want to go for Merit, right? And if you want to go for him, uh, Chelsea, Chelsea, Atalanta, and Marseille. Those are your three teams.
Yeah, so Atalanta's actually quite nice. But I think the key thing too is like, for example, like if you think like let's say MDG is like really solid, you just need to check that like when he has a stinker in game week 3 that Karnaseki actually rotates with him, right? For me,
I
like
mean,
it's as simple as that.
yeah, because the only two goalkeepers that are good in for Di Gregorio are Sommer. We don't know if he's going to stay starting, and then Kairat Almaty is goalkeeper, which is, I mean, that's not an option.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, that's rough actually. But actually, to be
Yeah.
honest, like even with the rotation piece, I think like if you have a stinker, it's like you still will play one goalkeeper once that probably has higher EV sometimes. So it's like you might not have that double shot or that double life, but I guess you're still getting some nice flat EV. Um,
No, no, for sure. I think because you're saving 1 million, that
yeah,
can definitely come good somewhere else. Like, for example, because I have Raya and Karneseki, I have to go for someone like Rodinei from Olympiacos because I
yeah.
don't have enough money in the bank to have Upamecano. And
Is
I
Rodinei
definitely want to go
guaranteed to
to Upamecano.
start?
Is he not? I mean, from what I saw, like all the
I saw
predictions have
some.
him starting.
Okay, yeah, I saw some weird lineups. I know he's played all of the league games so far, but
Yeah,
wasn't sure. I'm quickly like doing my fan team in a bit of a rush.
yeah, yeah, of course.
I've almost gone back to like full Portuguese defense instead, and I think yeah, it yeah, I don't know. I generally just think that the Arsenal clean is so locked though versus Athletic. It's a bit of a joke, but
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of dire, uh, especially because Nico Williams is missing. And I keep telling people that these are the internal adjustments you need to make because you cannot expect a data model to go up and down so quickly. That's kind of insane to expect that, which is what happened with Mbappe, right? With his broken nose
yeah,
in Euro 2024. Like you can't expect me to
true.
nerf his expected value because like what he's not at 100%. That's just insane. So, but you can definitely sort of do that roughly by looking at Nico Williams's output, and I think he is very critical to that attack, like you said.
Hmm. Have you been? Yeah, I just generally agree with you.
Hmm. I'm trying to figure out like let's say MD1 is fine, but moving on, how many players do I have playing? Uh, it's such a difficult task like because you have to like visualize so many things, and I just it's just too much. Yeah, trying to figure out if I have 11 players or not. Less than 11 players in match day two. Are you still locked on that same team? Because I think we are aligned on the chip strat. So
Yeah, I think so. Are you? I mean, I guess you have Salah, right? Still.
I do have him. And my
Yeah.
plan is to go Salah to Palmer next week. So next MD. So I can easily do that.
Okay.
And because I have Salah, obviously I have to make more compromises than you. So I have Hakimi also. I'm probably going to get rid of him, to be honest. He's just like a remnant from my first draft.
Fair. Do we have any updated news in terms of Benfica startings?
Good question actually. That's like one team.
Chiquinho is definitely going to start, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm seeing people talk about his age and stuff like that. I don't know how much that is impacting this. I mean, I think
His
it's
age.
just,
Okay. All right.
yeah, just
All right.
the usual stuff, right?
I just need him to be my auto sub on fan team. That's it. So he needs to be just, I don't know,
Yeah.
aged enough to play football for me.
Is Solakis flagged in the game? Because, I mean, for people who are wildcarding in Game Week 2, he seems to be yeah, he is. So basically, his substitute goalkeeper will be a great option.
Nice.
Yeah, what is his name? Pashalakis. Pretty sure I've
Yeah.
slightly butchered the name, but yeah.
No, I think you got that right. I've just recreated my fan team draft. It's kind of, I guess, inspired by you.
Oh, let me see. Ooh, I love that Uzun thing. Pick. Yep, yep. If you're wildcarding too, you should just. Yeah, there's no place for the Arsenal defenders. True.
I think I can do it, but then it's just like, do I feel? I actually think I'd drop the Benfica defenders because I don't really know if I love Benfica, but I don't know. It kind of ruins the stack.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, you have to look at the fixture, right? I mean, it is insanely one-sided.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to trust the markets on that one, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, going back to chat. All right, let's see what people are asking. Yeah, you can change your captain every day, once at least. Audio's low. Maybe I can see if I can dial up yours a bit. Hopefully that should be better for yours. French Post says Vinicius will start on bench most likely. I mean, I've seen so many conflicting reports on that. I don't think I'd really mind too much. Rodney is a doubt. Someone says Vinny bench. A lot of people are saying Vinny bench. Why Bastoni over Dumfries? Ball recoveries exist. You have nowhere to spend 2 million. I've got nowhere to. Oh, I mean, I say nowhere to spend 1 million when I have literally Di Gregorio over Raya, which is a bit of a sin, but whatever. Uh, I don't know. I personally don't see any Spanish news outlets that actually make me think Vinny's benched. Like this would have.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is, if I take out Rodinei, I think we're going to end up on a very similar draft.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because there's no other 4 million defender I want to go for.
Hmm.
I don't think Araujo is worth it for long
No,
term.
it's not even a great gamble in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And if I was looking, let's me check if there are any other defenders worth it. I don't think so at 4 million.
Well, it's the two.
Fresneda, I don't know
It's
how good is.
no. Fresnel does not play 90s. Not even close.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, okay,
I
okay.
was but I did tell you yesterday. So like the athletic player, and then you have a VRL player as well. There are two defenders at 4 million that actually do play every
Yeah,
match.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but it's like
Those are good ones.
I don't know. Check out 6 match prediction before. Okay, have you done the 6 match prediction? Why don't you sort me out? Where do I even access? Oh, predict six, right? Have you done predict six?
What is Predict 6?
I don't know. It's like some sort of prediction game. Let's just do
Oh,
it.
this one. Yeah, I'm not playing that, bro. It is very tedious
But
to keep up.
what is the point of doing this? Do I get anything? Probably not,
I
right?
have no idea. I have no idea. I used to play this before. I just think it's an engagement tool and nothing else. Like there's no reward and it's just more strength.
Yeah, it's an engagement tool, and
Yeah,
I'm getting so unengaged.
yeah, exactly. So if I sort by defenders at 4 billion for MDs 1 through 4 and 6, I get Cardona, like you said, Rodinei is number 3, and Paredes is number 6. So that's pretty much the extent of where I'm looking at.
I
I'm not
can't do that,
inspired
guys.
by any of these.
Sorry. There's no way I'm playing predict six. Just no chance. What is going on here? Oh, I went to FIFA fantasy for some reason. Sorry, what were you saying again? You went Rodney, and then
Yeah, no, I was saying if the other options are Cardona, Rodinei, and Paredes. They are top
hmm,
six
nice.
for the game weeks we are targeting. So I just don't see the point in doing this to myself.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go Horizon, unfortunately.
Go who?
Dean Horizon.
Oh, okay. What do you
Yeah,
mean, unfortunately?
because you don't have him, and you're like you're like the biggest Dean Horizon stan. So I'm a little concerned. Yeah, Gasiorowski is someone in the chat said Gasiorowski. Gasiorowski is actually above Paradise with good minutes. So Maybe he is the play actually. Let me have a look at that.
That could be
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, his expected value is pretty good. Not gonna lie. Whew.
I'm still gonna try that Vinny News. Timber Calafiori. I'd probably just go Timber because I feel like his minutes feel a bit safer with White always like being a bit of an injury case. Like there's enough depth to rotate Calafiori from maybe a game like Olympiacos at home. Most of the Spanish predicted lineups that I saw today had Vinny starting. I think there was only one newspaper that I saw that didn't. Yeah, a lot of it's like doubt on Vinny Rodrigo. A lot predicting Mastantuono, which I'm not even sure is necessarily going to happen. Like I think we could even just go the same team versus Sociedad. Wouldn't be shocked. Vinny will start or
Yeah.
not. I wouldn't say 100%, but I'd say Vinny's 80% to start. I would be quite shocked if he
But
didn't
I mean,
start.
come on, man. What? I
At
just don't understand.
Yeah, I think at home is borderline
Yeah,
trolling.
yeah, exactly.
What do you think about Joao Pedro? I've got no interest in him, but I'm obviously you can look for him in match day too. Like if you angle a transfer towards him, makes sense. Why Pedro over Rafinha? I'm not benching anyone. This is what I'm trying to say. There's no bench in this game. You just auto sub players in. Once you play match day one, you'll be a lot more relaxed. Like don't think about the bench as if it means anything. All you need to do is put like three players who play on the second day or the third day on your bench, and you're chilling. Like you just rotate them in, and that's it. You just go in and out.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. This is the most stressful week of the season. So anyway, it's
Yeah,
12 minutes to deadline, by the way.
Akliush I think is fantastic price. Fantastic
Yeah,
price. He
I
could
forgot
easily
to
be
actually
like
check.
I could go there. I think
Mm,
if I need
oof,
money, he's a great
yeah,
pick.
yeah.
Even
I
like
think
match day one, I think like if you think that he's gonna be your budget like glue guy, I can see it.
that's what I'm thinking. So rather than go for him on match day one, I might go for him on match day. But the thing is, if I do match day four, then I'm limitlessing in match day five anyway. So sorry. So he loses the allure because the Paphos game is on limitless.
Mm,
I don't know, man. This Can Uzun punt might be awful actually, but I'm gonna go for him anyway.
it better work because I'm actually gonna go for it in fantasy. um,
Yeah, I saw that. He is ridiculously priced. If he is actually that good, I don't know how good is he.
I mean he's been
Uh,
balling though, but I don't know. Like yeah, Frankfurt's an interesting team.
yeah, I
They're
mean they
playing
just keep
UCL for the first
summarizing
time.
players, right?
Sounds good,
They
Yossi.
just keep summarizing
What's
players.
limitless? Basically a free hit chip, but there's no budget. 15 minute until Arsenal clean sheet wipeout. Honestly, who who are Bilbao gonna score with? That's my genuine question as someone who like watches Athletic. Like they haven't even scored in the last two matches, and they played like versus Alaves at home. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like it would actually have to be a screamer for me to even believe it. Let's see. I might do something like Vinny to Salah, and then Gabriel to Houston, and then Digger to Raya. Is that kind of what you've done? No, but you have Can
Yeah, I
Houston, right?
mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty close to my team. I mean, we have the same front line.
Okay.
So,
God, I just want. Ironically, if Vinny gets benched for this game, he's definitely playing versus Kairat, which is just like crazy. Um,
exactly. I mean, I just
I
think it
just
is worth the risk either way because it's like, why do you? I mean, I'm assuming you do care about early ranks, but at the same time, why do you care about early ranks? Because if a lot of people are going to deploy wildcard 2, you're going to lose points to them anyway, regardless of what happens in the match day
yeah,
one.
yeah,
So if you're looking at bigger picture, I just don't see why you wouldn't go for someone like Vinicius.
yeah. I think Bellingham is already in the squad, right?
Who?
Did you Bellingham?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I ramped up his minutes on the model from match day 2 so that he is in contention for man of the match.
Am I confident Vinny will start? I mean, I'm more than 50%. Who is actually saying what is the actual source of Vinny benched?
8 minutes to deadline, by the way.
Yeah, let's have a look. All right, I've seen some parody accounts. Yeah, it's only Diarra. It's not even Vinny potentially benched. It's just like that he might not start. No one's actually saying that he's benched. Um, like no one's actually made that call yet.
That is quite misleading then as well.
Yeah, it's also just it is a touch unnecessary, honestly, to bench Vinny like this.
I agree with you.
Does the Houston red card matter in UCL? Not at all. He got a red card in La Liga. Eze or Neto? Probably go Eze. Vinny not starting. Who is saying Vinny's not starting? I'm so lost.
Yeah,
Tell me one
exactly.
actual source where Vinny's said to be benched by a newspaper or a journalist. By the way, it's such a shame that Di Maria doesn't play Champions League this year. Such a shame.
I know, right, bro? He's like,
Yeah.
that game would have been so good for him.
And you know, like he's actually top three all time in assists.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he, I believe, is like 2 assists away from most assists in Champions League history because Ronaldo and Messi are done as well.
Yes.
So he's second with 41. Ronaldo's 42. Messi 40. Uh, so yeah, he really should have just stayed again. I mean, Madrid extra. I mean, to be honest, Madrid extra just they'll post whatever they want to post.
Yeah, exactly. For clicks.
They didn't. Their expected 11 doesn't have Vinicius on the bench, guys. What are you even talking about? It literally says Vinicius or Rodrigo. That's not a predicted bench. Neither is it saying that they're benched.
Oh, that's funny.
Let Ronaldo keep it. He won't start. I'd be quite shocked. Luis Suarez, Schick, or Pavlidis? Luis Suarez for me, 100%.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, I'd go Luis Suarez and Pavlidis if you need two of those players. Vinny or Rafinha? I'd go Rafinha personally. If you have to pick between two, like I'm gonna keep Rafinha long term, 100%. Current second rotation much better. I agree, but also costing money, right?
Yeah.
Cheap alternative instead of Otamendi, Antonio Silva. Is the Trebi nailed? I'd probably go Akanji. I think he's better for ball recoveries, but he might not be nailed either. So that's why I have Bastoni. Um, if he who can't be named was a midfielder who would be in your team, I think you're right. Thoughts on KDB? I think I would see him as a match day 2 transfer for sure. Villanova's a 4 million starter. Why Haaland over Kane? I just prefer Haaland over Kane. I think they're pretty close. It's like, to me, it's a 50-50. I think when I last checked, Kane had higher ownership, so I just almost emotionally made a decision there. And I don't know. I feel like maybe there's a bit more scope actually this season for Kane to play reduced minutes this year. Could be wrong.
Because of whom though? Like Nicholas Jackson?
I don't know. Like in the league, he's also getting subbed early, right? Which didn't really happen last year.
Yeah, but also to be honest, I am shocked by how Gnabry continues to be in his plans. Like I thought company would get rid of him, but
Right.
apparently not.
No,
So
so for example, like he rotated kind of
yeah.
hard versus Hamburger, right? Like Upamecano off at halftime, 45, and he subbed Kane off at 63. And
No, I think
Kane,
for that happened last season as well, to be fair. And I
yeah,
think his Champions League minutes are pretty
it was
pristine.
perfect. It was basically
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
So
but yeah,
oh, I just noticed I have way too many home players this week, which means I will have way too many away players next week.
but also like Gnabry's a part of his plans in the sense that like he's gonna play like 45 minutes of football, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying that it is still unexpected for me. Like I still felt that he would not
Yeah,
be in his plans. Like he discarded Sane pretty easily, right? So
Sane's awful though.
I mean, yeah.
I've been a Sane hater for at least a year, 2 years before he left for Turkey. So, um,
Fair play.
Fran, as a Madrid fan, how do you feel about Mastantuono and Brahim over Rodrigo? I mean, Brahim is a deaf piece, so I'll never talk about that. But I think Mastantuono long term over Rodrigo makes a lot more sense because it just allows us more control. Someone who actually is comfortable in like the right half space in terms of like keeping the ball and then like keeping the play alive. So to me, I just prefer Mastantuono. Like I think Rodrigo has always been so. I mean, I'm not some sort of like body mechanics guy, but I'm sorry, he's just not a right winger, and he's never looked comfortable there. Like he can shoot, and sometimes he can cut in, but it's never like actions he's used to taking. And I think if you look at the way we play now, we much prefer having people who can actually operate in half spaces, keep the ball in play, do kind of like overlapping motions with the fullback at times, uh, dropping deep as well to receive, whilst allowing that to happen. And like Mastantuono is just much better for that. Is he gonna
1 minute to deadline, by the way.
1 minute to deadline? I mean, I'm locked in, so you
Same.
know what? If Vinny's benched, we get to have Vinny starting for Kairat, guys. No problem. So, and if he's not benched, well, we get Vinny versus Marseille at home. So
I think it's
win-win.
a win-win. I'm not gonna
it's
lie.
it's potentially a lose-lose, but we
I'm
take
sorry,
it.
I was going to say lose-win or win-lose, but either
No,
way.
I'm kidding. But yeah, it's yeah, lose, win, or win, lose, or he starts both, right? Because I mean, he's been starting like he's been only been benched once in the league, and then he started most of the few games. I think with the earlier substitution, oh, that's it. We're locked. We're done. Good luck, guys. So what was your final team? You want to share that with us in the end?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, just give me a second. Let me send it to you.
All right, someone's gone Voldemort captain. Fair play. I don't know why, but good luck. Um, can I read it off?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Joshadan's gone Haaland, Mbappe, Luis Suarez. He's gone Salah, Rafinha, Elise, Arda Güler. And then in defense, he's and Kana Uzun as last midfielder. Then he's gone Gabriel Bastoni, Upamecano, Bremer, and Goncalo Inacio. And he's got Yaros and Raya as goalkeepers. Fair, pretty close. Quite like our
Yeah,
teams. I probably should have just
yeah.
spent the 1 million on Raya. My God, but you
Yeah,
know
it's
what?
very strange. We've gone the exact opposite directions after last season, where I
Yeah.
decided that I will always follow your philosophy of going Raya and a cheapie. So it's kind of strange to see this
Yeah.
Freaky Friday.
By the way, I actually ended up not even playing fan team. I just like
Really?
I I made one team with a free ticket and that's it. I mean, why not, right? It's a free ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? Whatever. Time for Dortmund to win UCL. Good luck to that.
Wait, you didn't even enter the free ticket?
I entered the free ticket and that's it.
Ah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, obviously. That's perfectly okay. I don't know. It's really weird. Like for FPL and Fan Team, it's the same level of engagement, right? You make your decisions, and after deadline, you can't do anything. But with UCL, it's so vastly different between these two formats that I don't know. It almost I can't ever adjust to Fan Team being classic fantasy compared to this.
Right.
So
All right. Wait, when do we get the Madrid lineups? In 15 minutes? No,
yeah,
no, no, no,
no.
no,
It's
no,
gonna be
no.
time.
1 hour and 15, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I can't believe there's an anxious wait for Vinny to start. All right.
That's insane, bro. I mean,
What is going on? What is going on here? Oh well. I am actually low-key hoping now that there's a screamer and Arsenal somehow concede, which I don't find to be possible at all, but let's just see. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining the stream. Thank you, Shaden. As I said, you can find Shaden's Patreon on patreon.com/uclfantasy. You find all the expected points models there, including fan team models. And yeah, I mean, like, expect more, I guess, collaborations with Shadow and I on the main channel, I think, going forward. So it seems like people are pretty receptive to it. So thanks for joining.
yeah, I saw the comments yesterday. They were very positive, and your video yesterday was actually so good. I mean, compared to the amount of time you had to put it together, I loved every
I,
bit of
I,
it.
I
So great
actually
stuff.
recorded it like literally at maybe like 11 p.m.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I think I spent the whole day thinking about UCL. So
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
So wait,
And
you recorded the video and then you moved over to our spaces?
no, I did spaces, then recorded the video immediately,
Oh
and then
wow! Oh my
well
God!
no. When did we do spaces?
I think we
Oh,
did spaces.
I recorded the video then did spaces. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Because the other way around would have been insane, right?
Yeah. All right, good luck, chat. Good luck to you, Shannon.
Yeah.
Catch you in
Yeah.
a
Good
bit.
luck to you, everyone.